Let's start for our final revision in chapter 12. Let's start with chapter 1. Chapter 12, lesson 1, organizing data using matrices. Before solving the questions, here, let's remember that the element is each a number in a matrix is an element. We said before that a matrix, if we want to repair or to talk about the matrix, we say the matrix, it's a rectangular arrangement. It has a numbers. These numbers that they are arranged in arrows and in columns, like 2, 5, 3, 1. This is a matrix. Matrix is a singular, matrices is a plural. Now, each number in a matrix, we call it element. And in a matrix, it's like the numbers. We can add it, subtract it, and multiply it, and divide it. Now, in multiplication, we have a scalar multiplication and dot multiplication. Now, in this class, you will talk about the scalar. Later on, inshallah, on grade 10, you will talk about how to multiply two matrices with each other. So, the matrices can be solved like the numbers, like here. If you want now to find the summation for the matrices or the difference for the matrix, what you have to do, first, you have to add each element, each corresponding elements, like 4 plus -4, 0. Then you will add 7 plus 1, which is 8. Then you will add -1 with -2, which is -3. And then you will add -2 with +3, which is 1. So in this way, I add each two corresponding elements to other in order to find the final or the final matrix. Yes, this is here how to add matrices. Now, how to multiply them? This type of multiplication, we call it scalar multiplication. Scalar multiplication, it means I just multiply a number with the matrix. Now, what can I do? Like the distribution property, I will multiply number 5 with each element in the matrix. So the final matrix will be 5 times 4, which is 20.
20.
Then 5 times -3, which is -15.
Negative.
Then 5 times 0,
15.
0.
0.
Then 5 times
5.
1,
5.
5. So this is here, we call it scalar multiplication. Okay, scalar multiplication. Okay, now. This is for lesson number 1. Now, lesson number 2. Lesson number 2, it was talking about frequency and histogram. We learn how can we draw or how can we make the frequency table and how can we make the histogram. What is the frequency table? It's a a set of data values into interval and show the frequency for each interval. As we said before, we make a table. We put here an interval. And here we have to put the frequency. Then the second step will be the interval like 1 to 3, 4 to 6, like 7 to 9, 10 to 12 as an example. Then I will ask I will count how many from 1 to 3, 4, 5, 9, 1 as an example. Then these numbers 4, 5, 9, 1, we call them the frequency, and these are, we call them an interval. The frequency table is a table. It has an interval and it has a frequency for each interval. Now, what is the histogram? Histogram, it's a special type of bar graph. Now, all of us know that we have something, we call it bar graph. This is as an example. Here I like red, yellow, orange. Then I asked how many one like red. They told me we have 4 as an example, 5 like yellow, and 3 like orange. This is what we call it. We call it bar graph. Now, there's a special type of bar graph, which we call it histogram. Histogram that I will take the table, the data from the frequency table, and I represent it in the histogram. And after that, as we said before, the bars should have the same area, should be close to each other, and they don't have, so they must have no gap, should be closed. They mustn't overlap, and they must have the same length of interval. This is for the histogram. Now, both of the frequency table and the histogram, they must have 3 things. They must have the same interval, the same length, they don't overlap, and they don't have any gap. This is here and a common between the frequency table and the histogram. Now, how the questions will come. I will not bring data for you, and I will ask you to draw to make the frequency table. No, I will make like this for you. I will bring a histogram for you. Then I will ask you like this. The amount of gasoline that 80 drivers bought to fill their cars' gas tanks is shown. Here we have the number of gallons, as we see here. We have a histogram. Here we have an intervals. These have the same length, closed. There's no gaps. Now, the x-axis tell me about the number of gallons, and the y-axis tell me about the number of drivers. They make a survey. They asked that, or they found that as an example, 12 drivers, they filled their car with 6.1 to 9 gallons. Now, my questions: which interval represent the greatest number of drivers? Which interval represent? So I will see here, where's the greatest one? This is the greatest one. So they are, which interval is the greatest? 9.1.
9.1.
So if I ask you now, which interval, you have to look here. How many drivers? So from the question, how many drivers? I am supposed to look at this y-axis. Now, how many drivers bought more than 12? Be careful now, not the 12, more than 12. I will search about number 12. Where's number 12? Here is number 12. Now, I told you now, more than 12. So I will look at all of these here. Now, more than 12 gallons, they could be, they are this area. So they will be this area plus this area plus this area. I mean, here, how many drivers between 12.1 to 15? We have 18. Plus, how many one from 15.1 to 18? We have 12.
12.
And how many one between 18.1 to 21? We have 6. So 6. I will add them and I will find that the answer is 36. So here, I told you now, more than 12. More than 12. What does it mean? It means I will ask myself now, where is number 12? This is number 12. 12 gallons. Now be careful. Not 12 drivers, 12 gallons. Here. Now more than, that's mean I'm talking about this part here. So how many drivers now we have? I will say we have first 18 plus 12 plus 6. Then the answer will be 36. Now the last one. How many gallons? Oh, sorry, how many drivers bought 9 gallons or less? So 9 gallons here or less. So what I have to do now, I have to add this area here. Or the number of drivers that they are less than 9. How many ones that they are less than 9? We have 12
plus 8 plus 3.
We have 12 plus 8
Plus 4.
2 approximate. No, it's not 4, it's 2. It's between 4 and 0, so it is 2. So what are the numbers will be? 12 plus 8 plus 2.
Plus
What
3
they are?
plus 2.
22. So that's mean 22 drivers bought 9 gallons or less. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now, and in this lesson, we talk about the histograms. I want now to classify them into uniform, symmetric, or skewed. Now, the first one, number 5. Look at it. Is it symmetric or uniform or skewed?
Uniform.
Uniform, bravo. Okay. Number 6 now.
Skewed.
Skewed, bravo. Here, they are going to the right side, so it will skewed. It's not symmetric. Symmetric, it's mean like this. If I cut it into two equal halves, I will see that this part is the same as this part. If they are the same, so I will say that number 8 is symmetric. So how will I know? I will draw now a line in the middle, like this here. Is this part number 1 like part number 2?
No.
No, so it's not symmetric.
No.
Are they uniform? Are they have approximately straight line?
No.
No. So they're going, or the data gathered at one part greater than the second part. So I will say it is skewed. Now number 7. I will cut it like this. Is part 1 like part number 2? No. So it's not symmetric. Is part 1 and part 2 have a straight line like this? Does they have a straight line?
No.
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 So the data are gathered in the left greater than the right. So I will say that they are skewed. Okay. Now the measures on lesson 3, we learn about the measures of central tendency and dispersion. We say that we have 2 types of measures, measure of dispersion and measure of central tendency. The measure of central tendency, such as mean, mode, median, and the outlier. The mean is the average. The mode is the data that occurs most often. And the median, from its name, since letter D is in the middle, so I'm talking about the middle of a set of ordered data. And we talk about the measure of dispersion, which is the range. And we say that the range is the difference between the greatest and the least value. These are the median, mode, median, and range. Now, let's have an examples. Here, you have this data. We want now to find the mean, the mode, and not the outlier, I didn't give it to you. The mean, the mode, the median, and the range. So here now, we have this data here. 4, 4, 4, 7, 8, and another 7 we have, and 22, and 8, and 22. Now, I told you first you have to arrange the numbers from least to greatest. The first one now, where is the mean? What is the mean? What is the meaning of the mean here?
The sum of the total number.
The sum of the total number over the number of them. So,
yeah.
I will say here now, the mean is the summation of them. 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12. 7 plus 7, 14. And 8 plus 22, 30. Over how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over 7. Then you will add 30 plus 26, 56. Over 7, 8. So the mean here is 8. So in order to find the mean, as we said before, we have to add the numbers of the data over number of them. Now, number 2, the median. What is the meaning of the median? The number that is in the middle. So here, what we have to do, we have to make like this, like a game. Number 4, play with number 22. And number 4, this number 4 here, play with number 8. Then number 4, play with number 7. So which number is in the middle?
7.
Number 7. So I will say that the median here is number 7. Now, the mode. The mode is the most frequent number. Which number happened the most? Happened more than, or the most occur?
4.
Number 4. So the mode will be 4. Now the range. In order to find the range, what do you have to do?
22 minus 4.
Yes, bravo. You have to subtract the greatest number minus the small number. So which is 22?
The minimum.
The minimum number, which is 22 minus 4. 18.
Teacher,
Yes.
Miss, the median, if it was like two numbers the same, like here, Miss, we have 7 and 7. We will choose one of them because it will give the same answer.
Yes, they are 7
find
plus
that.
7 over 2, 7. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, and in lesson 4, we talk about box and whisker plot. We say that this is the box and whisker. The number here, the last one is a minimum. The farther one is the maximum. And we say that we name it with box and 2 whiskers because these are here is a box and these are here 2 whiskers. This is the first whisker and this is the second whisker. Now, the first whisker starting from the minimum up to Q1. The second whisker starting from Q3 and with the maximum. The box is starting, or the box is starting from Q1 up to Q3. And we said before, like, in order to find it, first I need to find the Q2 or the median. Then the median of the first part, when I cut it, I will find the Q1, and the median of the second part, I will find the Q3. And when I subtract them, Q3 minus Q1, I will have the IQR, or we call it interquartile range. So if you subtract Q3 minus Q1, I get the interquartile range. But if you subtract the maximum minus the minimum, what did you get? The range.
Range.
This is here the box and whisker plot. Range is a maximum minus a minimum, and the interquartile range is a Q3 minus Q1. Now here, during the 8-game regular season, a running back ran the football for 125, 82, 105, 155, 98, 68, and 111 and 95 yards. What is the third quartile? So what he asked me about, find Q3. So what did I need first? First, I need to arrange the numbers. With the smallest one here is 68. Then we have 82. Then we have 98. Then we have 105, 111, 125, and 155. There must be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I forgot a number. 95 here.
Yes.
And there's a 95. Now, in order to cut them, as I told you, imagine now you have a bar of chocolate. You need now to cut the bar of chocolate. What do you have to say? Where I should cut it?
At quartile 2, at the median.
At the median. So when I ordered now, if I want now to cut it, I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So I will cut the bar of chocolate here. So what is the Q2 now?
98 plus 105.
Bravo. I will add 98 plus 105 over 2. And they are 101.5. Now, after that, I want now to cut this bar of chocolate, the second bar, or the second half, into 2 equal halves. Where should I cut it? Should I cut it here? Is this equal?
No, between 111 and 125.
Bravo. I will cut it here, between them here. This area here, or this part I cut it, I call it Q3. How can I find the Q3?
111 plus
101
125.
over.
Bravo. I will add 111 plus 125 over 2, which will be 180. This is here how to find the Q3. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, and we talk about lesson 6, which is the permutation and the combination. Here now.
Yes, teacher.
Oh.
Teacher, in the previous lesson we revised now. Teacher will bring us the graph that contains x's.
Such as what? X's.
Like teacher, like line. And for each number, like one household contains 1 television, it will be like x, and 3, like this. So you'll bring something like this graph.
No. I will bring them direct one like the previous one, and then I will ask you about it.
And do not ask us. Yes, teacher. And do not ask us to draw a whisker and box.
No. You must know how to draw it. Okay, please, and study 1 or 2 examples, and you understand it. But when I ask you, I will bring a drawn one for you, and then I will ask you some questions about it.
Yes, teacher. Okay.
Okay. Now lesson number 6, permutation and combination. In the permutation and combination here, let's remember that we talk about here in the lesson 1, 2, 3, and 4, we talk about statistics. In lesson 6, 7, and 8, we talk about probability. Now, the first one in this lesson here, we don't talk about probability, we talk about the counting methods. I asked you, so when I told you how many methods, how many ways, remember lesson 6. If I told you what is the probability, remember lesson 7 and 8. So what is the, how many ways, how many methods, remember this lesson. This is the first part. Now, how can I use it? The first one here, which is the multiplication counting principle. The multiplication counting principle, it's mean, if I told you now, you go now, yesterday, one a day, you wake a morning, you want to choose a hat and you want to choose a shirt to draw. When you open your cupboard, you find that you have 2 shirts and you have 3 hats. So you need now to choose 1 shirt with 1 hat. So how many choices you have? Now you choose 1 shirt and 1 hat in order to wear them and go out of the home. But how many choices you have? In order to know how many choices, you have to multiply 2 times 3 to get 6. This 6 is a number of choices I have, as we said in our lesson before. If you go back to this the videos, you will learn, or you will remember what I said. So I multiply the number of shirts by the number of hats in order to weigh how many things I want to wear. Now, in the n factorial here, if I want to arrange things, so here, if I want to choose, I will use the multiplication counting principle. If I want to arrange, or to, or you can say like, I can give you another word. Oh, okay, yalla, arrange, or select, or choose, or select as an example. Now, if I told you now you have 6 books in your drawer and you want to read all of them. So if I ask you now how many ways you can choose all of them, remember, if I give you shirt with hat, so it means counting principle method. But if I told you number of only books, you have 6 books, you want to arrange them. I'm talking only about books. The first one, shirt and hat, here only books. So 6 books, you have it now in your drawer, you want to read all of them. In how many ways you want to choose them? In how many ways you want to choose them? So I will say 6 factorial. I want to read all of the books. And as we said, 6 factorial, it means 6 times 5 times 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is here if I want to choose all of them. Now, if I have the 6 books and I want to read 2 of them only, but in order, I will use the permutation. But if I want to read 2 of the books and from the 6, without order, I will use the combination. So in order to choose or to select many things, a few things from the whole number, you can use n factorial, permutation, or combination. What's the difference between them? The n factorial, you want to read all of the books. The permutation, you need to read a specific order of books, and you need to order the books. And I mean to read number 1 and number 3. So I will use the permutation if the order is important. But if if the order is not important, I can choose number 2. I want to choose any 2. So here I need the combination. The first one, I choose order, like I want book number 1 and book number 2. But if I want to choose any 2 without, without the order, I will use the combination. This is here the difference between them. Is it clear?
And teacher, what's the 1 factorial?
The n factorial, if I want to read the whole, all of the 6 books, all of them, I would say 6 factorial. If I want to take only the book number 1 and book number 2, and if I want to choose a specific number, only 2 from the 6, not all of them, only 2. I want to take the first 2, so I will say permutation. If I want to take any 2 books, maybe the last one, I will use combination.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Now let's have an example here. Now all of us know that in Saudi Arabia we have an license plate, and the license plate, it has like Alif, Ra, Zain with 5, 0, 2, 1, or let's say in English, in order to understand here, like A. You know that we have 3 letters with 4 numbers. So in order to put this, we have many choices or numbers and letters. So I'm asking you, sorry, about how many numbers or how many letters you want to choose. So here now, or how many characters, sorry, how many. So if I'm asking you about how many, remember listen, permutation, combination, or in factorial or counting method. Now when I'm asking you about how many numbers only, so you have to choose the counting method, the n factorial. So come back. If I'm asking you about how many numbers only, you have to use n factorial or permutation or combination. But when I asking you about how many numbers and letters, like shirts and hats, so you have to use the counting principle. What does it mean here? It means when I want to find, here we have 3 letters and 4 numbers. Now, for the 3 letters here, how many, so if you want to write or to choose letter A, how many choices we have? How many letters in English we have? How many letters in English? How many letters in English? How many?
Teacher, maybe 26.
26, yes. So when they choose letter A, they have 26 letters. When they choose letter B, how many choices they have now?
They have, teacher, 25.
26. It can be repeated. Sometimes you see like this. AAC. It can't be repeated. There isn't any problem. So it has 26. And when they choose letter C, sorry, how many letters do they have? Also,
teacher, what do you mean
26.
by how many letters?
يعني هلا in English مش we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on.
Yes.
So if you draw them now in a cards and you want to choose letter A, if you look at them, how many letters you have? You have 26 letters. And how
Okay.
if you want to close your eyes and choose a letter, how many letters you have? How many choices you have? 26. Then after that, you take one of the letters, you put it on the right, then you get it back. You want to choose now another letter. You close your eyes. What did you find now? How many choices? We have 26 too. And in the third one, we have 26 too. So we have 26 times 26 times 26. Now for the numbers. All of us know that. We know the numbers in math like this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The number of 1 digits, they are 10 numbers from 1 digits. Now, so if I want to choose number 5 now, how many choices we have?
10.
10. If I want to choose now number 0, how many choices we have? Also 10. If I want to choose number 2, how many choices?
Also
10 again. And number 1, also 10. So the number of, so if I ask you now 3 letters, so you have to multiply the number of the letters 3 times. And if I told you now 4 numbers, you have to multiply the number of the numbers 4 times. Is it clear?
So teacher, this is the counting method or
yes,
what?
This is the counting method, yes.
Okay, teacher.
Now let's solve this one here. A 6-character license plate number. Its end starts with 2 letters like D, I, and end with 4 digits like 1990 as an example. Now, how many different 6-character license plate numbers are possible? Here, Remember, how many numbers we have in math? We have 10 numbers. How many numbers? We have 10. How many letters?
26.
Sorry.
26.
Wait just a minute, please. How many numbers? We have 10 numbers. And how many letters? We have 26. Here, how many letters we have?
2.
2. So I will multiply 26 2 times. Done? Then, how many numbers here we have?
4.
4 numbers. Bravo. So I multiply 10 4 times. So the answer will be, they will be 6,760,000 ways to write this 6 character.